Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Finally, Celtic opened the transfer door and in walks Nicolas Kuhn. He gets picked up from the airport by Jerry and Co and the film crew, and he gets taken to Celtic Park and shown Celtic Park at night with the lights on, which was fantastic for him. And the video was absolutely brilliant that Celtic put out late last night, about 9 o'clock. I noticed that they put everything out on the social media at the exact same time. For those who were up late to watch it, and it was late for us here in Europe. It might not have been that late for people back home in Scotland, but for Celtic fans around the world, it was late. Nicolas Kuhn did sign for Celtic, and the video was absolutely fantastic. A lot of the comments on the YouTube video were absolutely hilarious. One of them says the only downside is Jerry is a cabbage and made that interview awkward as hell. The social media person that pitched the idea for that style needs a bonus. He does that. It was fantastic. And some of the other comments, there's lots of good comments, but some of them are just absolutely hilarious. Brendan Rodgers and the club did put out a statement at the exact same time as the YouTube video and all the other social media platforms. It said Celtic Football Club are delighted to announce Nicolas Kuhn on a 5.5-year contract, and he does play the number 10 position. He's got number 10 shirt. So what does that say about someone that's in the team just now? Celtic are definitely thinking forward with getting him on such a long contract, a 5.5-year contract. They must expect big things from him to give him such a long contract. Nicolas can play both on the right and the left wings. He's been capped by Germany at the under-20 level. The 24-year-old spent early years at Leipzig, Ajax, and Bayern Munich. You've got to remember that the likes of Ajax especially, they are buying up a lot of talent. And it's no surprise that some players don't make it at Ajax because they spend a lot of money bringing in a lot of youth to see if they can get them at work. They do spend a lot of money on youth from all around Europe, Ajax. And he was also at Bayern Munich before moving to Rapid Vienna in 2022, where he played regular for the Austrian side. Speaking after signing for the Scottish champions, yes, we are still the Scottish champions, and I fully expect us to be champions at the end of this season. It says Celtic are one of the biggest clubs around. I'm really happy here. He did also say in the interview that he didn't have to swap colour of shirts, which is a nice little wink to Celtic playing in green and the club that he just came from playing in green. He says, I'm really motivated to do well here for a great club. I want to get working immediately. We face our challenges in the league and the cup this year, so I'm really excited for what is coming. At the end, at Celtic, it's all about doing all we can to win every game. So that is a challenge here. I can't wait to get going and to do my very best for our supporters, said Nico. And then up next was Brendan Rodgers. He put out a statement, and in the same statement, it says, Brendan Rodgers, he says, we are delighted to welcome Nicolas to Celtic. We believe that he's a dynamic player who has an excellent level of quality and all the attributes to fit well into our style of play. He's a profile that we're looking for. He's a real fast attacking intent player with great pace and ideas, the ability to create, score goals, and he's a fantastic player with great energy and work ethic. He's someone that can play both wide sides, and we can bring him in so that he has that versatility for us. For myself and the coaches here, we really look forward to working with him. And that was Brendan Rodgers. The fact that Celtic have finally got a Brendan Rodgers signing in the door, hopefully he can just crack on. Hopefully he can just crack on and he proves us all wrong. He does seem to have a bit of pace in that about him, but he can go off YouTube signings videos all day long. Now let's look at some of the headlines before we talk about Cameron Carter-Vickers, because there was a lot of speculation about Cameron Carter-Vickers yesterday. Look at some of the headlines from yesterday evening, and this morning. Celtic announced the signing of Nicolas Kuhn as new number 10. Owen Becks is also linked with Celtic. Celtic brace for Cameron Carter-Vickers bids. Talk about that in a minute. Nicolas Kuhn, first words as Rapid Vienna winger, complete Celtic move. Nicolas Kuhn on a 5-year deal. There's another headline. Celtic announced Nicolas Kuhn from Rapid Vienna. Celtic signed German winger Kuhn from Rapid Vienna. There's the BBC. And then there are a lot of other headlines as well, but that's just a few of them. Brendan Rodgers, Celtic quality plea answered as boss hailed Nicolas Kuhn move. to Celtic. So yeah, there are quite a lot of good headlines out there. There'll be some more this morning. I think a lot of the papers will obviously, it's all about just stealing paper space putting out at that time. Don't you think so? Anyway, Cameron Carter-Vickers yesterday was linked with quite a few clubs in the English Premiership. Now, it have to be said that if our players aren't getting linked with moves down south, we're at Celtic, we're doing something wrong. It is the business profile of the club to obviously bring in players, make them better and sell them on. It's why we're sitting with over £80 million in the bank. We'll not talk about that. And we did bring in Nicolas Kuhn for just over £3 million this transfer window. It'll be interesting to see how much more Celtic will spend this transfer window. But would it be the right time to sell Cameron Carter-Vickers? Definitely not. I think he as a player still needs to prove himself in the Champions League. You remember the past 2 seasons he has been injured as when we have been in the Champions League. For me, I'd like to keep him for at least to get one full season to see how good he actually is in the Champions League and if he makes us better in the Champions League. It's been unfortunate for him at his time at Celtic and the fact that there has been these 2 campaigns where he has been injured early in the season, which has kept him out of the Champions League. With the clubs in England circling about Cameron Carter-Vickers, I don't think it would take much for Celtic to sell him. We'll know the way that Celtic work, but I think it would be wrong at this time of the season to let your best defender go. I think it would be a worry come the summertime. Do we have players in the likes of Rocky? No, we don't. Don't even talk about that, Baz. I think Cameron Carter-Vickers will be with Celtic for at least one more year after this one, and then I think it will probably be time to move him on. Hopefully Celtic will have some better players coming through. Will the likes of Lustig, Gabber, Lager-Belke even, I can't even say that this morning, I'm that excited about Nicolas Kuhn signing for Celtic. Will the likes of Lager-Belke and Rocky step up to the mark? I think Rocky's one that could step up to the mark. Lager-Belke for me is just a bit on the thin side and a bit lightweight for a defender for Celtic. He will become a good player, but he's still young. To see if we can bulk him up and put him out on loan and bulk him up. Anyway, that's your Celtic news for this morning. Celtic have finally got off to the mark. Brendan Rodgers is happy that we've got a player that he says has quality. He might not have the experience that we're maybe talking about on this channel, but Celtic have welcomed him with open arms. They shown him around Celtic Park last night with the lights on, with the disco lights on, and yeah, it was a good little video. Tell me what you think about it in the comments. Tell me what I think about the fact that he went right into the number 10 shirt. Who do you think will be dropped from the team to allow Nicolas Kuhn to play in that position? Who do you think that might be sold this summer? He is happy. He's on a big, lengthy contract. So Celtic must be expecting big, big things from the player. And let's just hope that he becomes the Kuhn killer.
Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party.